Happy Sabbath again. So this is the time of year that many people go back to school. Who's been back to school already? Who goes on Monday? Nobody? Oh yeah, several people. In my town, it starts back on Monday. So in school, there's a lot of responsibilities and a lot of expectations, and sometimes we don't live up to those expectations. And then we make excuses. So you have to write an excuse or explain to your teacher why you didn't show up on time, or why you never showed up at all, or why your homework wasn't done. So I collected a list of excuses. Here's a basic one. My locker is jammed and I can't get my homework out of it. I was late for class because the bell rang before I got here. I missed school because I had to organize decorations for my dog's birthday party. I think I have acid poisoning from eating too many pickles. These are real notes. Sorry, I'm late. My pants were still in the washing machine. I can't come to school because my llama keeps barfing. I am experiencing traumatic stress from a large spider I found in my room. I stuck a mint up my nose and had to go to the emergency room. A cow broke into our house and we had to wait for the insurance man. So there's lots of excuses, and some of them are valid and some of them not so much. But I want to read to you from the Bible where people tried to make excuses to Jesus. This is Luke chapter 9, starting in verse 57. As they were walking along the road, a man said to him, I will follow you wherever you go. Jesus replied, Foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. He said to another man, Follow me. But the man replied, First, let me go and bury my father. Jesus said to him, Let the dead bury their own dead, but you go and proclaim the kingdom of God. Still another said, I will follow you, Lord, but first let me go back and say goodbye to my family. Jesus replied, No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for service in the kingdom of God. So these excuses seem a little hard to understand, but let's go back through them real quick. The first man says he promises to follow, but Jesus is pointing out it's not going to be easy. Even a fox has a hole and birds have nests, but Jesus doesn't have a home. He's wandering the earth trying to save us all. And the second man wants to go home and bury his father. People disagree. Sometimes that's an expression that his father may not even be dead yet. He wants to go home and be with his father as long as he can. But even if his father was dead, Jesus is saying, you don't want to be spiritually dead and dwell on your loved ones who have passed away. When they're gone, they're gone. The dead know nothing, and it's much more important to follow Jesus. And the third one says, well, I want to go back and say goodbye to my family. Maybe he wants to have a going away party, but Jesus wants him to know it's not all about him, that if you put your hand to the plow and look back, you're not fit for service. And that's true. If you're plowing, in those days you had to pay attention. They didn't have automatic machinery that plowed a straight line. If you kept looking back over your shoulder, your plowing wasn't going to be any good. So these are people making excuses why they weren't ready to follow Jesus. And we have to be careful about our excuses, that you might get away with writing a note for school, but Jesus pays attention and he wants nothing more but for us to follow him. So try not to make excuses. Try to do what he asks. So I have for you little pads of paper, not to write excuses, but just to write notes on.